Hello and happy Monday, everybody. Jonathan Mallard here with another session of Making Money with Benzinga Pro. And today I wanted to share with you a strategy that we actually found from our friend Humble Trader. So look her up on YouTube. And we just realized that she used some other tools along with Benzinga Pro. But with a Benzinga Pro scanner, you can find some great ways to build up your account even if you are under PDT. So maybe you're looking for some swing trades where you don't have to do a day trade, and you can do that using the Benzinga Pro scanner and the Benzinga Pro newsfeed. So if you're following along in the YouTube chat, you should see some bullet points that I threw in there, and I'm going to go ahead and share my Benzinga Pro screen. And what we're looking for here today are a few different items within the Benzinga Pro scanner. And I'm going to share my active filters here so we can cut straight to the chase. And what we're really looking for are number one, where there is a favorable day candle setup. Looking at the charts, we want to see stocks that are set to break out of previous resistance levels. And then we also want to make sure that they are trading with a decent amount of volume. So you can see here on my scanner, I have a volume of over 500,000 shares for the day. So relatively liquid. You don't want to get stuck in a trade overnight and then not be able to exit the trade. Also, the average volume is over 500,000 shares per day, and the relative volume is over one, meaning that it's trading at above the normal volume compared to what the average was over the past 10 trading sessions. So all of that is up here within, I might zoom this in a little bit. Let me know in the chat if you can see everything okay. But up here at the top, these are my active filters. And within Benzinga Pro, you would be able to find this under the price and volume filters, where I can select stocks from $1 to $20. And then relative volume is right there saying relative volume over one, or you could change that to relative volume 1.2 if you want to see a 20% spike or higher in volume. I also have my volume over 500,000 and average volume over 500,000. Then I also added a market cap filter. So we're looking at small market cap stocks, but not micro cap. So it's above 300 million and beneath 2 billion. And then you can see on the results here at the bottom that I'm sorting by the largest percent change since the previous close. So all that I did here was I just started clicking through some of the tickers, and I'm going to look at the details tool here. I'm going to bring up the chart, and we're just going to start clicking through some of these on the left-hand side. So we've got one connect, and I'm looking at that daily chart. I might zoom in a little bit. And I just started clicking through here, seeing, okay, where was there a previous resistance level that I might want to see it breaking out of? So it looks like it did go above these two little wicks right here, but then it might be running into some more resistance. And I don't know, it's relatively flat compared to the previous downtrend, but I might just skip that for now. BBIG, that's been very popular recently. And so here we go. I found this one, and I was looking at how this broke out above previous highs, CGNT. And you can see here how there was a previous high, and now for the day, we're trading above that. Now, the next step there is that you're looking for a fundamental catalyst. And this is where Benzinga Pro's news feed really shines, because, you can find charts in lots of places. Day charts are everywhere. But then finding out why the stock is moving and making sure that there's a fundamental catalyst that will keep that momentum going overnight is key. And so I clicked over to the news tab here within the details tool. And you can see that there were a couple block trades on Friday. And then this morning, Stifle maintained a buy. However, it did lower the price target to $21 from $26. It's not usually, I mean, it's just not a bullish news item. However, they did maintain the buy. So I'd have to look a little bit more into why that would be, if it has to do with the cost of supplies to produce their software or whatever else is going into their business model. But long story short, I put this on my watch list, and I've got some notes up here where I just notated, hey, watch this at $12.14. And then the next level I'm paying attention to is $13.53, because I looked to the left and I saw where there was a shadow going down to about 13.53. And then also there was this bigger red candle that broke beneath that in the past. So, hey, what's up, Blind Trader? I see you in the chat there. Glad to have everybody here. But long story short, I just want to see that it can really maintain some momentum going into the close. So after I make this watch list, I'm going to go back into my watch list tool. And again, between 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock, I just go through those 5-minute charts and make sure I still have some strong volume, strong price action that is maintaining those levels that upheld earlier on in the day, so that hopefully it'll be a decent overnight trade. All right, let's keep moving here. I'm just clicking down through these because I already clicked through like 25 of these, and I'll just show you the ones that I came up with. All right, so if I zoom out here, let's see, there's a lot going on here. You can see that it broke above today. It broke above this previous high around 1785. So this was from December, it looks like, on the day chart. And then we had this big gap that it might be trying to fill. That big red candle was at $20.42. And then again, there were these 3 little candles before the big drop up around $22.17. So those are some other levels that I recognize. And I always want to look to the left a little bit more to see if those levels align with anything else that happened in years or months past. And you can see that some of those levels do indeed align with past reversals. So again, I just went up here. It looks like I didn't add these to my notes, but I did add it to my watch list. So again, just looking for those technical levels on the day chart after finding these stocks on the Benzinga Pro scanner with those different filters that we mentioned earlier, and then clicking over to the news tab on the details tool to see, what's going on here. And it looks like last Thursday, there were some insider trades potentially, but I'm not really seeing a lot more here. Let's see, some $300 million note purchase agreement. Maybe there's some financing. Okay, cash runway extended. So I might need to look a little bit more into that. But for right now, it's just on my watch list, and it's up almost 9% for today. Trade Green, yeah, you definitely could look at the RSI. It wasn't on my list of filters. Actually, I don't know. I think they added that. I don't know if it's on the production or beta. If you have access to Benzinga Pro, you also have access to probeta.benzinga.com. I'm just looking for RSI here real quick. Okay, I'm not seeing it on our production site. So it might still be on the beta site. So let me get back to you, Trade Green. Also, if any of you have questions about how to use Benzinga Pro, how to get started, you can always email me at jonathan@benzinga.com. That's my email. So feel free to contact me anytime about how to use a platform, and you can start a free trial. No credit card required at pro.benzinga.com. I'm throwing that in there as well. 14-day trial with no credit card required. So anyways, I found these stocks using the Benzinga Pro scanner, and then I'm just going through some of these charts to make sure that the day chart is looking favorable. and then making sure that there is a fundamental catalyst that could drive this momentum over multiple sessions. Um, and then finally, I can go over here to my watch list tool, and you can see that I created a watch list here called Breakout Swings. And this has all the companies that I found on my scanner. So now I already recognize some key levels, and I might have notated that in my notes section. And I'm just going to start clicking through these and looking at the 5 minute chart. So notice how you have the day chart on Benzinga Pro, but you also have all of these other time frames. So I like 5 minutes. You could go as low as 1 minute on Benzinga Pro. Um, and so it looks like, okay, it looks like it's not at the session highs. It came down a little bit. Um, and it looks like there's a nice little bump in volume here in the past 10 minutes. So I don't know. I will wait to see how this is doing in about half an hour here and see does this, I mean, I would at least want to see it above 1250 pretty much. If I'm gonna do this overnight. Um, so I might even add that to my notes here. 1250 today. And then let's take a look at what's going on with CISO. So I click on CISO again, 5 minute chart. If we go back, we can see that it gapped up, or it was moving up yesterday, and it maintained that this morning, and then had another nice little spike midday here. Um, and then again, I want to click over to the news and see, is there really a clear catalyst that can drive this up moving forward? It looks like President Biden made a statement on the nation's cybersecurity, and that might be affecting some cybersecurity stocks. So that's another type of catalyst. You know, if there's a hot sector for the day, or a hot sector for the month or the year, you know, whether it just depending on what the sectors are doing, that can definitely come into play there. What's going on with Asperion Therapeutics? We can see that one of the C-suite directors here sold some shares. Not really that much though. So not much to talk about in terms of that. But look at this nice move today from 490 all the way up to 560 today. And then I didn't take any notes on the day chart. Okay, so it looks like a pretty clear downtrend over the past year. But if we look at this closer time frame here, I would be paying attention to, you know, how it's looking against somewhere around there. And then, of course, you might run into some resistance up here around $6. Um, so you can see that this isn't rocket science, and it's not always a guarantee that it's going to run up overnight. But using the Benzinga Pro scanner is a great way to find stocks that have enough liquidity to get in and out of, that they are moving up since the previous trading session or since the open. And then you can use the charts and the news items to find where they're really, you know, presenting a solid trading opportunity for overnight. Let's look at one more here. I said 1217 breakout. So it looks like I just put this on my watch list. And then at 1217, so it looks like I wanted it to break above the top of this red candle. And so that's really what I'm waiting for there. So that's kind of the process that you can use. So number one, you go to the scanner tool. Looks like I got rid of the scanner there. Okay. And then the filters that I'm using, just to reiterate here, are a small market cap. And then let's see, am I on the active filters? There we go. Price from $1 to $20, a small market cap, volume for the day of over 500,000 shares, an average volume over the past 14 days of over 500,000 shares, relative volume of over one, and that's pretty much it. Then you're off to the races. You can try mixing it up, adjusting some of those parameters. But those are some that have been working well for our team, and it aligns pretty well with what Humble Trader put out in one of her videos. It was like a video from 2020, but she uses Benzinga Pro a lot, and she's really a great communicator here on YouTube. So we thought we'd want to share that with some of you, and that you can use the scanner on Benzinga Pro instead of whatever other scanners are out there. The other way, the flip side of this, is you could go straight to the news source. So here we started with the scanner, seeing which stocks are moving. But if I switch over to the news source here, you see I have our news tool open. And some of the favorite news catalysts that Humble Trader mentioned were things like earnings, contracts, partnerships, or sector sympathy or strength. And you can find that very easily on the news feed or news tool inside of Benzinga Pro. Now, some of my favorite categories are exactly those: earnings, contracts, partnerships, sector strength. And on this news tool, you could just click on the categories filter. So I just click on categories, and right at the top here, I've got analyst ratings. Now, I only checked one subcategory here. I might zoom in a little bit so you guys can see that better. There we go. So you can see that I checked the box for initiation. Many times, if it's a smaller price per share stock and it's the first time that they've received a rating from an analyst firm, it can have a very significant impact. If it's a strong rating, strong price target, it can make a big impact. So I like to include those. And if you want to, you could also include upgrades or price target. And then down here, we have general. And under general, I have biotech and healthcare. Lots of times we'll have some press releases that are tagged with those, or key headlines. So you want to follow those. And then we've got mergers and acquisitions. I think there were like 3 different huge movers from the pre-market this morning that were moving off of acquisition headlines. So very common catalyst there. Market moving exclusives, you definitely want to pay attention to those, because those are items from our news desk where we're breaking that news and you're not going to get it anywhere else. So definitely pay attention to the market moving exclusives. And then under news here at the top, we've got asset sales, buybacks, contracts. These are all big catalysts. If you want earnings, you could add that as well. Although there's going to be a lot of earnings, so I usually treat that separately. We have FDA, management, and rumors. So these are all subcategories underneath the news category on the Benzinga news feed. And then we click done. So now that I check those boxes, it's telling the system, out of all the news that's going on in the market, only tell me about these news items that I know for a fact are more likely to impact the price of a stock. And so it might be more difficult to find the parameters that you're looking for. Like not all of these will be the certain price per share or market cap or volume that I'm looking for. But wait, there's actually another filter that I can add, and that would be the screener filter. So just to take a step back, remember, we just added these category filters, and now we're going to our screener filter on the news feed. So now I can say, you know what, let's make this from $1 to $20 per share. Let's go down here to market cap and set the max at 2B for billion, 300M for million. Then for volume, let's set that at 500K. Average volume 500K, and relative volume at least one. All right, so that's a lot of filters there. Let's see if we have anything that meets those parameters. And it looks like for today we have three news items, and I might go ahead and add in some press releases as well to see if anything meets those filters. So it looks like at 4 a.m. we had a press release from, what was it, Tiger Up FinTech Holdings. So we can see that they had a management headline that met those parameters, and I could go ahead and click into that. I'm going to zoom out here a little bit so we can see what that's doing on the day chart. Well, look at that. We had a nice volume spike yesterday, and it looks like they're trying to break through the $6 level, but it's facing some resistance there around $6. And so if I switch over to the 5-minute chart, you can see it reached, I mean, nice little day trade there earlier on today, but I probably wouldn't want to be holding that overnight because I'm looking at the decreasing volume as the day goes on. All right, and then what's going on here? We looked at CISO earlier, and so it looks like, it was moving up earlier in the day. We'll see how it holds up as we go into the close here. But my point is, you could stay focused on some of these news items that are very common catalysts for some of these biggest movers. Make sure that those companies meet your volume, price per share, and market cap parameters. And then you could go from the news feed to the charts instead of from the scanner to the charts. So it's just another way that you can find those stocks throughout the day. What about you guys in the chat? What are some tickers that you're looking at? And let me know, like maybe give me a number one in the chat if you hold stocks overnight. Are you all day traders, or are some of you under the PDT rule? Let me know what you're using right now to try to find stocks that you can swing trade overnight for a potential gap up or trade the next day. Go ahead, throw that in the chat. Let's see here. And while I'm waiting for you in the chat, I'm going to go to Sorrento Therapeutics, see what that's doing on the day chart. Okay, so something happened yesterday. Look at that volume spike there. But I'm not really convinced that, yeah, I mean, it gapped up and then it's down for the day. So that's pretty much it. If those were my parameters, it's just 5 news items pretty much for today. And I could click through those and see if that was something that I felt would hold the momentum overnight. You guys there? You're not giving me anything in the chat. Who here? Throw a 1 in the chat if you're under the PDT rule. Or throw a 2 in the chat if you're over the PDT rule. And give me some tickers to go over. Let's take a look at something for overnight here going into the close. What are you looking at, blind trader? Or trade green? Canadian? No worries, Aaron. We love our Canadian friends here. All right. See, Pell, MDK, TME. Aaron wants to look at TME. Let's take a look at here. Got 5 minutes left. What's going on with TME? Tencent Music Entertainment. Okay. So just looking at the day chart here, zooming out a little bit. So it looks like this, just on the day chart, be paying attention to yesterday's high for sure. And then conference call today at 8 o'clock. And then, okay, so we're going into earnings here. And so as we're talking about earnings, people ask me all the time, how to play earnings. And in my mind, I mean, I know, no offense to people who do really good research, but in my mind, it's a coin flip because there's so many different things that could happen going into earnings. We can see this is down 10% today. But if you do want to see past earnings results, there is this calendar tab here on the details tool, and you can see basically how often they met, exceeded, or missed their earnings expectations in the past. So you can pretty much see here that they have either met exactly or beat their earnings expectations for their EPS every single quarter. And then, however, there is the revenue side. And what's interesting is that they missed their revenue expectations probably 8 out of 10 quarters. So it's just interesting to see little themes like that on this little calendar tab. Blind traders trading CYRN. Let's take a look at CYRN. Wow. Yeah, up 48% today. Let's see if there was some news. Okay, so it was a top short squeeze candidate to watch. You can see that we have articles every day about the top short squeeze candidates. And then I can look at the chart here. And this apparently also falls into the cybersecurity space, according to my news desk. So what was that looking like on the 5-minute chart? Yeah, wow. Multiple opportunities here today. So that would have shown up on your scanner, as well as the movers tool. So yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, Aaron says the whole stock market is a coin flip. I just prefer to know when that coin will be flipped. Right. So like you can still take advantage of the momentum after earnings, even if you're not holding it into earnings. And it's always good to plan ahead as well. Let's see. All right. CYBL. See what's going on with CYBL. Okay, another, I assume this is another in the, whoa. Wow, yeah, that's an OTC stock. But just going back to the cyber plays here, CYRN, if I wanted to see some similar companies to CYRN, there's this nice little peers tab here. Well, this is interesting. Let's see if it breaks above $10 here. This peers tab is nice. Oh, it's not giving me anything there. But let's say if I was just looking at Gevo here and I wanted to see what are some other companies that are similar to that, I've got a quick little watch list that I can run through here to look at as potential sympathy plays. So fun fact, the peers tab, it'll give you some other ideas. MDK says, seems like after Netflix, Facebook, Amazon, Snap earlier this year, every earning report has been a massive IV crush. Interesting. All right. Well, I'm out of time for today. Come back tomorrow. We'll see. I've got my watch list here. So let's see what happens with some of these companies tomorrow. I'll keep this watch list up. I'll see you tomorrow at 3:30. And I'm looking forward to it. So I will see you then.
Did you know nearly all stock price changes of 10% or more result from a single news headline? That's right. News headlines have a unique ability to drive stock prices up or down. These news catalysts create trading opportunities every day. All you need is a little help to reach out and take them. And if you're looking to grow your portfolio, it doesn't matter if your investment budget is small or big. An easy-to-read stream of news headlines will increase your opportunities to profit from price changes in the stock market, consolidate a knowledge-based investment strategy, and grow your portfolio. All you need is Benzinga Pro and its powerful news alerts, price tracking, and portfolio monitoring to make a positive change in your trading performance. We've already helped thousands of retail traders across the world, and they could not be happier. Increase your market knowledge, boost your exposure to big movers, and make informed trades before major price changes. The opportunities are all around you. Subscribe now, and we'll skyrocket your portfolio today.